Hello, YouTubers, friends, and family from around the world. This is Mike with Daily Events Worldwide, and we are on July 11th, 2023. Welcome to another surviving day on the planet, and welcome to the Daily Do, giving you your space weather update, as well earthquakes, volcanoes, and world weather. Always starting out here looking at the last 48 hours on our sun. Images brought to you by Solar Dynamics Observatory, showing no major solar flares the past 24 hours, but we did have an M-class solar flare 2 days ago and is set to give us a glancing blow as forecasted in a video from 2 days ago. Looking at the last 48 hours incoming, no major cresting sunspot regions right now. Looks pretty quiet, but lots of plasma around the surface. Looking at outgoing here, no major space weather events in the outgoing position. Minor C-class solar flares throughout the day today. You can see those flashes from the active sunspot regions. Looking at multispectrum here, this is where we can see darkened regions, which are coronal holes. And as well, watching the dark lines, squiggly lines, those are showing plasma filaments stretching across the surface of our sun. Another light here. Just some amazing images brought to you by Solar Dynamics Observatory, and thank you so much for tuning in. Active region there. Most recently, that was the M-class solar flare. Other than that, just minor C-class solar flares coming from 2 out of the 6 active sunspot regions. Space weather conditions, no major space weather conditions to report. Solar X-ray flux remains in a B range after showing there. Strong M-class solar flare. Geomagnetic activity sitting at a KP2. Real-time solar wind, 432 kilometers per second. Maxing out at 445 just a couple hours ago. And it's been a steady increase since yesterday. Looking at the NOAA Space Prediction Spiral, showing space energy coming our way. 13th into the 14th, as well ISWA showing the same thing. 13th into the 14th, small glancing blow from that CME. Having a look at LASCO, showing all of the energy coming from our sun. We also have sun diving comet. If you happen to notice in the right-hand corner there, something coming into view, and not diving into the sun, but diving around it. You can see it right here. We'll zoom in. There's another one. Yeah, that was a pretty big one. It's not often you get to find the sun diving comets or any comets around in these LASCO images, but every so often, we do happen to find them. Cool stuff. Now let's have a look at earthquakes for the past 24 hours, as it has been somewhat busy. Over 200 earthquakes, according to USGS, but large 6.2, Hokkaido, Japan, 162 kilometer depth, as well Kuril Islands, 5.2, Russia, 4.2, 4.3, Rat Islands, Aleutian Islands still, as well Central Alaska, seeing a 5.0 earthquake. That's the largest through that region that we've seen in in quite some time, probably about 2 months. North American plate, fairly quiet, no major swarms to talk about, no major earthquakes to report. A little too quiet here through Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic. Largest through the region was a 3.7. South America, San Antonio de los Cobros, 219 kilometer depth, and that just happened recently. Seeing more earthquakes up into Argentina. South Sandwich Islands reporting a 4.6, and as well a rare earthquake here to report, a 5.0, Alberton, South Africa, west of Johannesburg. Rare region for an earthquake there. Have not reported one for a while. 4.1 earthquake there, Western Turkey, and 4.3 Eastern Turkey. Mongolia reporting a 4.6. As well, lots of activity through the Philippines plate over the past 24 hours, ranging down into Indonesia, even close to Krakatoa volcano. Deepest earthquake today, 581 kilometer depth in the Fiji region. and that was just before the 6.2 earthquake Japan, and as well a 5.8 earthquake here west of Macquarie Island, south of Australia. Look at the most recent activity. It's following a line, Antarctic plate into the Australian plate. 5.8 earthquake, Macquarie Island. And that's the last 24 hours for earthquakes around the world. Give you a quick glance at the last 7 days for shakers across the planet. And just be ready, folks. Anybody who is in an earthquake-prone zone, have a go bag ready and just know what to do in a situation like this. If there is ever a large earthquake in your region, stay tuned and aware and prepared with daily events worldwide. We'll keep you updated if there is any large earthquakes with tsunamis. That's what this is all about. Keeping humanity aware and prepared. And thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this information, please don't forget to leave a like. Having a look at the Pacific Disaster Center, showing the most recent satellite imagery from around the world, as well the most recent volcanoes getting updated today, as it's a volcano day for sure. About 12 volcanoes getting updated, starting here with Fuego in Guatemala, Shevelich in Russia, Mayan in the Philippines. As I mentioned this a few days ago, we saw quite an SO2 plume coming out of there. 4 days ago, the Mayan, the Philippines volcano erupted. Also, Popocatépetl in Mexico, many puffs from Popo over the last couple weeks. Ranging down here is Semeru in Indonesia, Sabancaya in Peru, Suwanosejima in Japan, Sangay in Ecuador, Reventador in Ecuador, Nevadas de Ruiz in Colombia, Dakono in Indonesia, Ibu in Indonesia, as well Bagana in Papua New Guinea, Abaco in Russia, Krakatoa, Indonesia. So many volcanoes. We're going to have to get into it. A volcanic activity report coming soon, showing here satellite imagery from around the world. Some systems finally moving into Canada this week. Bit of a relief from all of the fires, seeing some moisture and some changing winds. We do have one typhoon to report here in the West Pacific. Typhoon Gukol is still alive. It is right now a Category 2 and just grazing the mainland of Japan. Overlooking the rest of the world here. Another tropical system, Tropical Cyclone Biparjoy, heading into northern Indian Ocean. Now sharing the SO2 forecast worldwide. Quite a bit of SO2
Sharing
coming
here
out of the
the
Aleutian
SO2
Islands
forecast.
this week.
Big plumes
as well
coming out
from
of
the Alberta fires. Lots of particulates coming
Alaska
out
this
of
week,
Alberta and
as
northern
well,
plumes
BC,
coming off of the Alberta,
Kilauea
volcano eruption,
as
and
well,
Ontario
Popo
wildfires,
Guatemala,
volcanic
big
eruptions
plumes
coming out
at
of there, and as
Kilauea,
well,
and as well,
Quebec
Popo through
wildfires still
Guatemala.
pushing a lot of SO2 and nasty particulates into the United States. Quick browse here at the rest of the world. As you can see through the West Pacific, large plume of SO2 heading westward, coming out of the Kilauea volcano. Large eruption the other day, and now that lake is very active and filling up. Look around the rest of the world for SO2. Now let's get to weather, showing the precipitation forecast here for the next few days. Low pressure system in the United States right now, heading up into Ontario. Going to keep things wet for a few days, but then drying out quickly. High pressure ridge moves in before another low comes in through Alberta but heads northward. Low pressure center there developing through the central United States, and as well lingering big low affecting the Atlantic provinces. And then later in the forecast, long range forecast, another low moving into Ontario and a big low moving in to the Canadian prairies, BC. Watch for extreme weather with that event. Overlooking South America and Africa. Wednesday into Thursday, some extreme weather moving to coastal regions, Buenos Aires, Daily evaporation rain through central regions and northern South America. Overlooking Europe, Russia, eastern Indies. Big low through the Atlantic, going to bringing waves of moisture into parts of Ireland, and as well moving in through the mainland this week, Europe. Gray days ahead of you. Overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Typhoon Gukol just grazing Japan. But then some pretty strong systems coming out of the South China Sea this week, and they're going to be racing through the West Pacific and grazing Japan yet again. Possible typhoon developing there. Overlooking Australia, as you've got some big systems affecting you this week. Watch for strong winds and extreme weather for New Zealand and as well southern parts of Australia, and then northwestern parts in the long range forecast. Big low squeezing in between you and New Zealand. Hope you enjoyed the show, everybody. Much love. Stay aware and prepared. Stay young and have fun. And get your daily dew. Bye-bye now. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends and family from across the world.